It's very difficult for a father, yes? So they say that when Ali al-Akbar said, Abata, I am very thirsty, can you please give me something to drink? Imam Hussein at that moment took out his tongue and he said, oh my son Ali, place your tongue upon my tongue. Hopefully you can get some moisture from my tongue. The Maqtal states, as Ali al-Akbar put his tongue on the tongue of Abu Abdullah, all of a sudden he begins to run backwards. What did you see, O Ali al-Akbar? He says, my father's tongue felt like a dry piece of wood. And here I am complaining about my thirst. Ali al-Akbar then mounted his horse. He went back in towards the battlefield. He fought so bravely. He killed many people and sent them to hell, so that he reminded them of Ali ibn Abi Talib. When all of a sudden, one Mal'oon comes forward. He has a spear in his hand. As Ali al-Akbar is fighting, he pushes the spear and lodges into the heart of Ali al-Akbar. As the spear goes in his heart, he breaks the handle off. He says, I hear that Hussein is sabr. Let's see how sabr Hussein is when he has to remove the barchi from his son's heart. As his heart was pierced, Ali al-Akbar leaned forward. One of the members came. He struck Ali al-Akbar on top of his head. When he struck Ali al-Akbar, blood began pouring down his blessed face. Now what happened? Ali al-Akbar fell, but he didn't fall on the ground. He fell on top of his horse. As Ali fell on the horse, his blood covered the horse's eyes. His horse, not being able to see, accidentally takes Ali al-Akbar to Umar ibn Sa'ad's camp. They say that within Karbala, whenever somebody was killed, there was always one man that struck him. But when it came to Ali al-Akbar, everybody struck him. The books of the Maqtal state that Ali al-Akbar went into the enemy's camp. They began hitting Ali al-Akbar to such an extent that the Maqtal said that they cut him into pieces. Ali al-Akbar fell off his horse. He turned towards the tents and he said, Abu alayka minni salam. Oh Father, here is my final farewell. Hada jaddi Rasulullah. Here is my grandfather Rasulullah. Qad sakani bi ka'sihi al-awfa. He has given me a drink, oh my father, and this drink has quenched my thirst. So in other words, what was he saying? He was saying, oh Father, don't worry about me any longer. And he says that there is a cup waiting for you as well. When Abu Abdullah heard that Ali al-Akbar has fallen, just to give it to you in context, if you could look up please. Look at me for 1 second. Abu Abdullah, when he heard Ali al-Akbar, now let's say Ali al-Akbar is that way. Abu Abdullah runs the opposite direction. He runs towards the left. So Sakina comes out. She looks up and she says, oh Father, Ali al-Akbar is that way. Why are you running that way? Abu Abdullah says, Ya Sakina, don't blame me, for when I heard Ali al-Akbar has fallen, the light of my eyes is finished. I don't know where to go. I can't see anymore. Where is my Ali? So at that moment, Abu Abdullah would go towards the battlefield. He would say, Bunayya Ali, call me, call me. I will hear your voice and I will come towards you. So at that moment, you know what the enemy members did? They began to create small groups. One stood there, a few stood there, and they would say, Father, Father, here I am. Abu Abdullah on his hands and knees would crawl towards them. As they would come close, they would kick Abu Abdullah. Then the other group would say, Father, Father, here I am. So Abu Abdullah would go there. They would hit Abu Abdullah. Then he mounts onto his horse as he's riding towards Ali al-Akbar. The Maqtal says, Abu Abdullah did not alight down from the back of his horse. No, Abu Abdullah threw himself from the horse onto the body of Ali al-Akbar. He placed his cheeks on the cheeks of Ali and he cried out loud. Hamid of the Muslim says, until this moment we hadn't heard Hussein crying before. This was the first time Hussein cried. What was he saying? Final words. He is laying down on the ground. He is looking at Ali al-Akbar. He places his cheeks on his cheeks. He's crying out loud and he says, Abunayya Ali, ala dunya ba'daka al-hafa. Oh my son Ali, this life is no longer worth living after you. Allah la'natullahi alayhi qawmi al-zalimin. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Wa sayalamu alladhina